Hello, I'm Emmanuel Bach. I'm back with the 2-minute masterclass, and today it's Mozart Concerto No.4, third movement. In this movement, I think there are two essential aspects to be thinking about and bearing in mind in terms of the character. The first is elegance, and the second is playfulness. And the main theme of the rondo is marked Andante grazioso, so graceful, and that really sets the tone of the entire movement. And I think it's the quavers that we really in particular need to be thinking about here. So ensuring that we gather the fingers up as well as moving the arm all helps contribute to that gracefulness, and those quavers really need to be crisp and elegant with lift through them. And then of course when we lean into the dominant harmony here, we can vibrate to really bring out the sense of the phrase and the shape of the line. And that will contribute to the internal contrast in the phrase itself. And then of course we have this part of the phrase, which ends almost on an open statement, a little bit like a question really, and then resolves. And then we have a repeat. So the theme is very, very structured, and actually it's the structure that really shows where the playfulness actually is played out, because afterwards we have something where I think is which I think is a dance, and that's here. And in terms of the story, I think this movement is really about the queen, or possibly the king, and her or his courtiers, people that they know and that they're familiar with. And this is where they begin to dance. In the opening, it's just the queen looking around, taking stock of what's there, maybe addressing a few people, and then they all begin to dance. And it's these grace notes that add to the sense of elegance and indeed playfulness. And note that the way that I also shape that phrase as we're going along to create some internal contrast and shape within the actual phrase, because the grace notes add to this, they add to this playfulness, and then with the shape we have a sense of a dance going on, which I think is vitally important. And actually that's an aspect that's really developed as we go along, this sense of playfulness, of dance, and of almost of wit really. And a little bit later we have something which I'm tempted to call a comedy of manners, and that's here. Now, comedy of manners actually relates to a genre of drama where social comportment and behaviour and expectation are really essential parts of society and what goes on in society. And we actually have not so much a question and answer, but actually a reversal. We have an answer and then an open question. And then of course it's repeated, just on different notes. But that time we have the question first and then the answer. So it really shows the sense of wit that the queen, or indeed the king, but I think the queen has, and this sense of witty repartee and witty exchanges going on. And that continues a little bit later with this. And that I think needs to be very good-humoured, paying particular care to the articulation that we have. The off-the-string element is what creates the sense of playfulness. Later on I think there's a little bit of intrigue, and I'm thinking about here. And there I think we need to bring out the harmony. So we start in B minor, and then we go to E minor, which I think is darker and more serious. And then we come to A major, which of course is bright and joyous. So really responding to the harmony as a way of bringing sense to the music, and sense more than anything to the story which is going on. Then we have some repeats of earlier material, and there are two sections which I'd just like to draw attention to. The one is here, where I think the Queen is ministering, again in keeping with the title of actually the theme, Andante grazioso. She's ministering to her courtiers very graciously. And note the way I vibrate the melody, that brings more emphasis to the melody, which is placed over a drone G, so that we hear the melody and that the ear is picking up attention to the most important parts of what's going on. There's just one other aspect to think about, and that's the very ending. And I think here it's where the courtiers all stop dancing and they all disappear. And it goes like this. And I think there we have to really pay attention to the score. There's a wonderful diminuendo, and I think it really pays off to use these harmonics, which are just a playful reminder of what has gone on. That's all for today.